Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Board of Zoning Appeals meeting on today's date, March the 21st. And first thing we'll do is call the meeting to order. And we do have a quorum. We just made the quorum, but we do have a quorum. I don't think we had any public comment scheduled. And does anybody have any changes to the minutes from our meeting on February 28th, 2024?
No, sir.
Can we just accept those as submitted, or do we need to have a vote? Because we do it different ways at different times.
Yeah,
So.
I think we can have a vote as
Okay.
as belts and suspenders.
Move for approval.
Second.
Roll call vote for the minutes.
Ms. Foy,
Aye.
Mr. Tips,
Aye.
Vice Chair Halliburton.
Aye. All right, we have one item under new business. It's a special use permit. It's an application by Miss Davina, and Halliburton's bad enough, just so you know. Inkamwasa? Okay, thank you. Requesting a special use permit in order to operate a family daycare home in a duplex residential zone on property located 2537 Summit Court. And I don't see Mr. Aguilera, so I guess it's you.
You're stuck with me today.
All right.
Mr. Aguilera is on a well-deserved vacation.
Okay, good.
So happy for him and happy to fill in for him for this application today. Subject property is located in the cul-de-sac of Summit Court, 2537 Summit Court, and I've got it pulled up on GIS here. Summit Court is just a short cul-de-sac street off of DeJarnett Lane, and it also has frontage along Oakland Drive directly to the west across the street from Oakland High School. Summit Court is primarily developed with duplexes, and the structure that's on the subject property is actually a duplex. Ms. Ikwanimosa owns the duplex, and she resides in the side that is 2537 and leases out the side that is 2539. And so you see the numbers on the GIS here. So the subject of this request is here, 2537, 2539. She has a renter on that side of the duplex. So the property is zoned RD, Residential Duplex District, and a family daycare home is a use permitted with a special use permit by the Board of Zoning Appeals in the RD zone. And she is wanting to operate that out of the side of the duplex that she resides in at 2537. And so she submitted the materials to address the standards of general applicability as well as the specific standards for family daycare homes. And just as a reminder, we have family daycare homes and group daycare homes defined in our zoning ordinance. Both are allowed by special use permit in most residential zones. The family daycare home is for between 5 and 7, caring for between 5 and 7 children. So she would be requesting to care for a maximum of 7 children at her home. The group daycare home would be for between 8 and 12. She's not requesting a group daycare home, just a family daycare home. So the maximum that she could care for would be 7. So she is seeking to use the first floor space of the duplex, of her side of the duplex, for childcare, and she's outlined in her materials what rooms she would use for what functions of the daycare. She is also proposing, in order to meet the standard that states that traffic associated with the family daycare home, the customer traffic cannot back out into a public right-of-way. She proposes to construct a circular driveway in front of the duplex off of Summit Court. And so here's the site plan that she has had drawn. And you'll see that there is the circular driveway as well as a couple of parking spaces here and one parking space here. As she stated in her application materials, with daycares, it's often where parents drop their kids off at different times according to their work schedules. So it's doubtful that all the parents would come at once and drop their kids off at once. The hours of operation would be between 6 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. So if I had to assume, I would say that the children would probably trickle in between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning. But the parking is there in the event that it's needed. She does propose to have 2 part-time employees, and the employees, as well as the applicant, would park at the rear of the house. There's an existing gravel drive, and you can see it here on their site plan. There's an existing gravel drive that comes in off of Oakland Drive, across from Oakland High School, and as well as carports, and the carport on the 2539 side is not depicted on this, but it is here. You can see there are carports here and a carport here, as well as plenty of room for parking at the rear for the the tenants of the duplex here, as well as the applicant and her employees and any visitors or family members. They would use the back entrance, while her customers would use the front entrance. There is an existing fenced area. You can see it here. And the applicant does currently operate a babysitting service that does not rise to the level of family daycare home. So you see that the children's toys and play equipment is in the fenced-in area. That's the same area she would like to use for the outdoor play area for the family daycare home. The surrounding land uses are primarily residential in nature. I mentioned Oakland High School across the street, but you'll see here on Summit Court, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 duplexes, including the applicants. Directly to the south, there is a single-family subdivision consisting of 10 lots called Brick Way, and there's actually a daycare home that was approved here. I don't know if it's still in operation, but daycare home that was approved here by the Board of Zoning Appeals on Brick Way about 15 years ago, I believe, 15 to 20 years ago. So if the Board of Zoning Appeals grants this request, staff has a number of conditions that I'll read into the record right now that we would recommend. 1, this special use permit for a family daycare home will allow for the care of no more than 7 children. 2, the hours of operation shall be from 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. The family daycare home business shall not operate beyond these hours during the week and shall be closed on Saturday and Sunday. The family daycare home shall have no more than 2 employees employed with the family daycare home use, in addition to the owner. Should the applicant wish to hire additional employees or increase the number of children enrolled in the daycare, the applicant shall amend the special use permit and be subject to the general standards as well as the additional standards for a group daycare home. Number 4, all child loading and unloading shall be done on the property, and no parking associated with this family daycare home use is permitted on the public right-of-way. Number 5, no tenants of the adjacent dwelling unit at 2539 Summit Court shall use or park on the proposed driveway off Summit Court. It shall be used only in conjunction with the family daycare home business. In addition, said driveway shall be properly permitted with the city and shall be constructed and pass an inspection by the planning department prior to the family daycare home commencing operations. Number 6, applicant shall construct a solid 6-foot-tall privacy fence made of wood or vinyl to replace portions of the existing chain link fence around the proposed outdoor play area in the backyard. In addition, said fence shall be properly permitted with the city and shall be constructed and pass an inspection by the planning department prior to the family daycare home commencing operations. So that, and I'll take a break from reading the conditions and mention that outdoor play area, staff recommends that a privacy fence replace the portions of the majority of that fence. So to provide privacy to the adjacent neighbors even in the event those adjacent neighbors were to remove any privacy fences that they have, the burden of providing screening for this, more intense use should be on the applicant and not on the adjacent neighbors. So we're recommending that the outdoor play area be screened by the construction of a 6-foot tall privacy fence. Number 7, applicant shall provide a copy of the required statement from the Tennessee Department of Human Services to the City Planning Department. The DHS statement shall conform to the requirements listed in Section 9 of the Murfreesboro zoning ordinance. That's basically just stating that they meet all state requirements and that they're licensed. Number 8, applicant shall contact the Murfreesboro Building and Codes Department to obtain the required building permits for any new construction and/or remodeling and pass the necessary inspections. And number 9, one that we're recommending to you, the special use permit shall lapse upon sale or transfer of the property, or if the owner ceases to reside at the unit at 2537 Summit Court. And with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions. The applicant is here if you have any questions for her, and we'll need to conduct a public hearing on this matter this afternoon.
So Matthew, I've got one, and I may get too far in the weeds on this, but we've got supposedly a babysitting service today. We're asking for a family daycare home. Whether it's being used as a babysitting service or a family daycare home, irrespective of that, the 7 children max would apply. Is that a correct statement?
Yes, and I think the family daycare home would take the place of the
Okay.
existing babysitting service. Ms. Davina, if you wouldn't mind, come to the podium. Is that a correct statement?
If you don't mind stating your name and
Yes.
your address.
Yes, Davina Ikmosa. That is 2537 Summit Court.
Thank you.
Murphy. Oh, sorry. I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So you're correct. So currently that play area is used because I do have other tenants. I do not have an existing daycare service. I'm applying for one, but I had to go through this process. But they utilize their children play in that area. So actually it's just open. The backyard is open for anybody or whatever. It's just I have that fenced in area. They have small children. They play there.
Thank you for clearing that up. I'm sorry I misstated it.
No, not a problem. Yeah, I'm about to say I'm actually in the process, so this is a step in towards me making sure that I follow the chain of command when doing everything. So yes, I'm asking for a daycare service.
Okay. All right.
So does it, the other question, does it rise from just babysitting to family daycare? And then if it's over 7, does it go to, is that where the
That becomes a
regulations change to groups?
Yes, sir.
And then groups have a restriction, or I guess the family daycare has a restriction on the number of employees of less than 2, or is it just with this particular provision?
From a
application?
zoning standpoint, there is not a maximum. I think that would be at the discretion of the BZA as to, what y'all felt was appropriate given the context of the area, any potential negative impacts of the increased intensity. So examining all of that in comparison to the standards of general applicability and the standards of for family daycare homes. But yes, if she were to go over the 7 children, that would bump her up into a group daycare home, which would require a new special use permit and to come back before the Board of Zoning Appeals. And my apology for misstating. I had a misunderstanding of the current use of the property, just some miscommunication.
I had another question, and I guess because I haven't thought about this before, but with the fact that there's a tenant in the same, in the duplex unit, what about tenants that are on a sex offender or other registry like that? Are they screened when
Yes, sir.
you have a child care facility right next door, or is that?
And I do not know the answer to that.
I can answer that question. Yes, sir, because I own the property, I always do background checks on my own tenants, for my own safety. So, yes, yeah, for the children as well, but for my own safety, I would want to know if the person that I'm renting to, if they, have any criminal charges. So,
Right.
yeah, that's for me as well.
That's just for you, but is
Yeah,
that
no, I'm
required by
saying,
the?
yeah, that extends beyond that too, exactly. I would want to be safe as well, so I'm not going to put myself or children in harm's way.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And I just also wanted to add, Mr. Tips, because I know you stated about the group home. According to the DCS, yes, it is 7 children, but if there are children that are related to you, you can have up to an additional 5, or whatever, as long as they're related. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. Thank you. I don't have any other question.
All right. I guess, do you have any other comments at all?
Oh, no, sir.
Okay. All right. We will need to open the public hearing for anyone that would like to speak for or against this application. And looks like seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and address any comments, questions, or motions that this board may have associated with this application.
You
Go ahead.
I would move that we approve the application, subject to, because I think that this, there's no minimal or no adverse impact on the adjacent properties. The use that's proposed should not interfere with those properties, and it appears that the area is served adequately by all public facilities and services, and that it's not going to impair any scenic or historic or natural properties of importance. And it appears, according to the comments, that it complies with all the standards with the zoning ordinances with which it's restricted by. And I would add along with that we adopt the 9 conditions recommended by staff for approval of this application.
Second.
Very well done.
Thank you very much.
All right, we have a motion and a second. We'll call roll.
Ms. Foy,
Aye.
Mr. Tips,
Aye.
Vice Chair Halliburton.
Aye. That application passes. Thank you very much for joining us. With that, we have staff reports and other business.
The only thing that I have to add, and Mr. Halliburton, this will sound familiar because I said it to you yesterday at Planning Commission, would be I will try to do a better job this year of getting y'all your continuing education opportunities earlier in the year so that we're not up against the end of the calendar year. There was one that came up last week. I think, Mr. Tips, you said you were going to try to attend that.
I did attend that. Yes.
Great. We'll make sure to get that marked down on our log. And if anything else comes up, I'll make sure to let y'all know about it so that y'all can have those opportunities. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Matthew.
Oh, and we do anticipate actually a pretty decent-sized agenda next month, 4 or 5 items potentially.
All right.
All right. Thank you all very much. With that, we're adjourned.